Good afternoon, everyone. I am Thad Swedzinski, and I am a program facilitator working with the Regina District Industry Education Council and the Good Spirit School Division. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce Shawn Kostiuk, who is a certified hypnotist with over 10 years of experience helping clients achieve their goals and overcome challenges using hypnosis. In his private practice, he works with a wide range of issues, including peak performance, smoking cessation, anxiety and stress management, and overcoming fears and phobias. Just a reminder before we begin, this session is being recorded and will appear on the RDIEC YouTube channel for you or others to view in the future. We'd also like to request that any students who watch this session go to our website at www.rdiec.ca and complete the student survey that can be found near the top of the website's homepage. Completion of the survey gets your name in a monthly draw for a $50 gift card. Again, the website, www.rdiec.ca. Once again, thanks, Shawn, for doing the session today, and welcome. And I'll turn it over to you now.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Thad. This is always nice for me to be able to share some of the things that I do, because it is a mystery to a lot of people what hypnosis actually is or isn't. Sometimes they will see it in a stage show, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, and think that it is mind control and things of that nature. And really, when I talk to my clients, I tell them that it's not mind control in the sense that I'm controlling your mind. It's mind control in the sense that you're controlling your mind better. So that's our ultimate goal as hypnotists, is to actually help people basically control their mind better. Whether it's quitting smoking, well, that requires a little bit of effort and a little bit of control, right? And so we do that. And then stress and anxiety, we need to be able to control our reaction to it better. And when you do that, you find that maybe it's not so stressful, and maybe it's not causing such anxiety inside of you. So that's a little bit about what I do, kind of off the top here. There we go. So for me, a lot of my job as a hypnotist is dealing with clients one-on-one, or perhaps one-on-two, if it happens to be a couple that comes in. But the initial online meeting is really just to determine, is it going to be a good fit? In other words, can we work together? The problem is, in society, sometimes people just don't work together well. So if I'm not a good fit for you, I'm not going to charge you money to sit with me if it's not going to work the best for you. So I will say this about the community of hypnotists that I know from around the world. We do have a fairly extensive field of people that we can, refer out to. So if I'm not the right fit for you, I will definitely refer you to one of my colleagues that is an expert in what you want, and hopefully they'll be a good fit for you. If we do find a good fit, and we're able to work together, then the first step is, of course, the creating a plan. What is it that you actually want to do? Oftentimes when people come in, if it's a habit change, it's something pretty simple. But if it's something like stress and anxiety, or I'm scared of heights and I want to go to the mountains, or I want to fly in an airplane, or whatever that is, sometimes what they come in with is, as the issue, you need to be able to probe a little bit more and say, okay, that might be what the symptom is. What's the cause? And so when we start looking at creating the plan, what it does is it informs me. Do we need to have maybe 2 or 3 sessions? Is this going to be 5 or 6, or is this going to be something, a much longer period of time that we need to look at? So, and then, it's really to help them relax, focus, and be able to make those changes that they request. So, and again, the number of sessions will vary between the type of request and the commitment to change. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So example number one, I had a lady that came to me and said, um, I really don't want to keep eating all the sugar that I'm eating. Okay, not a problem. So we went through that. She had a couple other things that she wanted to do, so we worked out the plan. So when she came for her session, she came from outside of Yorkton. There was no Tim Hortons in her town, but she absolutely loves double doubles. Well, anybody in Canada knows a double double has 2 cream and 2 sugar. So she came into town early, had her double double, and was going to take one home after the session, which lasted, I don't know, about 20-25 minutes. And when she got home, I got this panicked text message and then a phone call. What did you do to me? Like, what happened? I said, well, you wanted to quit, eating sugar and drinking sugar and all of that. She says, yeah, but I didn't think it was going to work that quickly. I just ordered a double. So it happens that this client has come to me for some more change sessions that things that she wants to get going on. And she says, to this day, I still order just a double. So in 20 minutes, we changed somebody's mind about eating a whole bunch of sugar. I can give you another example of somebody who, is what's the word I want to use? They were suffering from pandemic. They've had high anxiety. They weren't coping well. They were starting to, and to their credit, recognize that they were using alcohol too much as a coping mechanism. And so we're 5 or 6 sessions into their plan, and already they're reporting significantly reduced anxiety. Excuse me. Some of the other things that were bothering her aren't bothering her nearly as much as they used to. And she's sleeping better. And her next step is she wants to be able to also quit smoking. So one of the things I do with all of my clients is I'll actually teach them how to use self-hypnosis, meaning you hypnotize yourself, and then how to structure the language that you use in order to achieve the goal that you want. So I do that with all my clients as much as possible. Sometimes, they don't want it. They just, no, if I need something else, I'm going to come back to you. Okay. But if you want it, here's a tool that you can use yourself. And that's, I guess, a good segue into what is hypnosis. Hypnosis really is just a focused state of mind. In a stage show, you'll see people that are slumped over. They look like they're totally zoned out. That all that is that their mind is focused on something completely different, completely removed from what's going on now. And we talk about it as the subconscious mind, and really all the subconscious mind does is it's like being in a dream. That spot where you're falling asleep, and just right before you fall asleep, that's where hypnosis actually sits in terms of brain patterns. And in that state, lots of things can happen. And stage shows, I think, bringing it back to the PowerPoint here, stage shows definitely show that off quite a bit. The imagination is an unlimited it's an unlimited entity. So what you can imagine, you can make happen. And when we talk about setting goals and going into peak performance and whatnot, those pieces there, right there, are the cornerstone of helping people take that next step forward into whatever positive thing they're after. But the goal of stage show, of course, is to deliver entertainment. And for me, being a professional educator of almost 30 years now, also delivering a little bit of education. People are often so amazed, especially if they're first time that they've seen a stage show. They think, wow, like, can I do that? And the answer is yes. With enough training, yes, your mind can do exactly that. The people that are up on stage are often the people that don't have weak minds. They have very strong minds and very strong imaginations. Uh, and so, with practice, anybody can get there. But what the stage shows do emphasize is the fact that your imagination can help you create the reality around you. And so that is huge. And for somebody to realize that, and for me, when I do my shows, my target audience for the most part is actually going to be K to 12 schools, for students to see that they can actually expand their mind and use their mind to create their reality. That's something that is rarely ever presented to them by teachers, and by school in general. It's just not part of the doing of school. So um, shows are often planned. Yeah, they are. The stage area can be a stage. It could be the gymnasium. It can be pretty much anywhere. And I've even done some street hypnosis as well, which really the stage is out on the street. So you're out there with people, and getting them to volunteer. So um, always safety first. Very first thing is when you're zoned out and um, you're not always aware of what's going on around you because you are focused on that relaxing. So, typically you might see what we refer to in the business as a flopper. Somebody actually falls out of their seat because they're so relaxed. They're kind of like a limp noodle. That happens actually quite a bit. But by and large, our job while we're entertaining is to make sure everybody is safe so that everybody can have fun. Um, I've done, like I said, stage shows, street hypnosis, parties. Uh, they all have different nuances to the safety factor, but they all have the same goal in mind, which is really to entertain people and get them to realize that there's more to them than what meets the eye. Okay. Oh, did I miss one? No, stage shows. Yeah, there we go. All right. Professional speaking opportunities. Well, exactly what I'm doing right now is just a topic, related to hypnosis. And when I talk to other businesses, and I've been actually interviewed by television stations and whatnot, um, it's really, people don't know what to expect from hypnosis. They, like I said, they think it is something completely, it's witchcraft, it's magic, there's power in my eyes. And in fact, I told one colleague of mine, I just got my certification for being a hypnotist, and they swore up and down that they would never ever look me in the eye ever again. So and it's nothing to be freaked out about, because like I said, hypnosis is natural. You go through that state every day. If you've been watching TV or playing a game so intently that you didn't realize somebody else came in the room, and they scared you when they started moving around because you didn't realize they were there. That's part of being in hypnosis. It's a very focused state. That's all it is. But for professional speaking, whoever I'm speaking for, oftentimes, the topic will be relevant to them. So, for example, if I'm speaking to some colleagues in the school division here, I will actually talk to them with the language of education. So, we'll talk about how this could fit into the curriculum, and what kind of skill sets the students can learn and teachers need to know, and so on and so forth. If I'm talking to a business, it would be something that the business is doing. So if they happen to be rolling out some new training, or they're looking for somebody to provide some motivation in a very different way, that's where I would come in. All right, and for me, what do you need to do this? Well, you should like people. That's kind of the bottom line with when you're in business, and you are executing, and I can say this regardless of whether, I would be wearing my hypnotist hat, my education consultant hat, IT manager hat, teacher hat, manager hat, you name it. I've done a lot of things in my life, but number one, good interpersonal skills. You need to be able to listen and communicate clearly. Obviously, knowledge of hypnosis is huge. And you know what? I meet with a group of people on a regular basis, and we share stories, we share what's going on in our businesses, we share all sorts of things. And nobody in that group, and a lot of them have been in it a lot longer and probably forgotten more than I'll ever know about hypnosis. And I've been trained by some of if you go back and study the history of hypnosis and whatnot, trained by some of those original people. Um, Nobody knows it all, but we all know enough of it to make it work for our clients and to make it work for ourselves. So and there's always an opportunity to learn. I attend a conference every summer in Las Vegas. There's usually 800 to 900 hypnotists from around the world. Guess what we're doing? We're sharing knowledge. We're honing our skills. We're trying to figure out, is this the best way to do this, or is there a better way? Hey, who's got something new that we can look at trying and add to our skill set? When you're looking at this type of a career, you need to be looking at the fact that you're not ever going to know it all, and there's always room for improvement. So, and the same thing for me, I'm also a certified life coach. I forgot to mention that hat as well. And so those skills, where you're working with people and you're coaching them along on the path that they've decided on, you need to have a pretty good skill set and be able to work with them. Psychology, I would recommend psychology courses anytime because it helps you understand some of the underlying theories around why things work the way that they work. Do you need to have a degree in psychology? The only difference between a hypnotist and somebody who would call themselves a true hypnotherapist would be that they would have a master's degree in psychology and they're actually licensed through the province. 99.92806% of hypnotists are not licensed by the province. They may be certified by organizations that have been built up over the years and have learned how to train people in hypnosis, but they aren't licensed like you would see a licensed psychologist or a licensed sociologist or so on and so forth. So with that in mind, if you are choosing a hypnotist to work with, definitely ask them what their certifications are, and then ask them the question about what have you learned since then, because I can attest to the fact that I've got in my coaching practice and in hypnosis my basic certifications, and then I have certifications in being trauma informed. I have certifications I'm looking for in male psychology. I'm looking at certifications also this year in potentially this year in delivering babies, using hypnosis instead of anesthesia as the method for controlling the pain and controlling the delivery. So, there are lots of opportunities out there to add to your skills. And then, of course, public speaking doesn't come naturally to everybody. So you may have to work at that. And there are organizations that will definitely help train public speakers. And entertaining. It's one thing to tell a joke at the dinner table. It's another thing to actually be funny in the sense that it actually entertains a large crowd. If you're going to go down the stage route, you definitely need to be able to be entertaining and not just have the one-liner jokes. Some of the traits, definitely, your ability to connect with the client and the audience. Not every person in the world is going to know about every audience, but your ability to be able to tell them your story, share some examples, show them, what it is that you do, and actually connect with them in an authentic way. That goes a long way between, yeah, I saw a show and it was okay, versus, yeah, I saw this guy and it was absolutely amazing. Organized and tech competent. I find, I've been in IT as a manager for a number of years and so on and so forth. I find the tech component comes very easy to me, but being organized is absolutely huge. You're dealing with people and their personal information, so you need to make sure you have systems to deal with that, so that you keep that secure. Of course, you're making an income off of this, so you want to make sure that that's taken care of by bookkeepers and accountants and so on and so forth. But you are essentially in business for yourself, and you need to be able to organize that so that you can still have life outside of it. The tech competence, where it will get really tricky for you is if you are going out on your own to do a stage show. You will need to know about audio and soundboards. You will need to have a good video camera, so you can get some footage from your shows. And because insurance, if they know that it's being recorded and somebody makes a complaint, you can always go back to the video and say, well, no, that didn't happen. So, and yeah, it expands from there. You can make it as complex as you want, and you can make it as easy as one, two, three. And personality, again, best suited for people who want other people to succeed. In my time, whether it was as a manager, teacher, IT manager, life coach, hypnotist, I'm always looking for somebody to succeed. And when people come to you, they're coming to you with something that is significantly troubling them, and you need to be able to take them from that to success. For me, I was online, using Zoom and Skype, for those of you that might remember Skype, long before the pandemic hit, and became necessary for everybody to work online. So I've done most, I'd say again, 95% of my sessions have always been online. And so that obviously means that I don't just work from people in the local area. I've worked with people from the United States. I've worked with people from Great Britain, Portugal. As long as you can speak the same language and you have that good fit, that good rapport, as we call it, you can work with anybody around the world if you're working online. If it's in person, obviously, either they're traveling to see you in an office setting, or you're traveling out to an event. And if you get really busy, and we know that entertainment wise, it's either all on or kind of slow. So grad season is upcoming. So if there are grads out there, and I could have 3 or 4 shows a weekend. And that could start anywhere from the May long weekend until, of course, the end of June. July could be absolutely nothing. So you have to kind of prepare for that as well if you're going to go the stage route. If you're doing the client sessions, you also have the opportunity to branch out and do. You could do audio recordings. You could do video. Obviously social media is a huge driver of everybody's business now. So you can be TikTok famous, doing hypnosis. That's actually how I got my start with a lot of the people that I know. They saw my first TikTok video, and it has, I think, 415 or 420,000 views now, and 54,000 likes. And really, all it is just me swinging a watch. It happened to be in the right place at the right time. Okay, other things. Yeah, so the online sessions, the other advantage of being totally online is you can travel, and you can run your sessions from anywhere. So, you could be on holidays and still still running your sessions from Mexico or anywhere there's internet, and good internet. You don't want to have disruptions in your Zoom meeting, but it is definitely possible, and I have done sessions from other places for sure. The in-person travel, like I said, common venues for me would be arenas, gyms, and auditoriums, hotel meeting rooms. I've done presentations in banquet halls, and of course, then there's comedy clubs and bars. They always have comedy hypnotists in every so often to entertain everybody in the crowd. So, and I could throw it in here, schools and classrooms and so on and so forth, because I've also talked to classrooms as well. So, equipment used, again, keep it as simple as you possibly can. A good laptop with a webcam and a microphone is absolutely essential. Why? Because they're watching you so that they can relax and get focused. They need to hear you and what you're saying so that you can step them through the process. And same thing on their side. I've had people run their sessions on their side from their cell phone, and it's okay. The sound is a little bit dicey sometimes, depends on how good the phone is. But by and large, the clients that are quick and efficient usually have their own laptop and webcam and good sound to go with it. So yeah, that's kind of the basic. You don't leave home without those. Uh, Hypnotist, and again, it's a cliche. Swinging the pocket watch I was just talking about, or a pendant or something like that. It's cliche, but it works, and it works because when you have something to focus on, uh, it's very easy for anybody to relax. And different people think differently, and they visualize differently. And so for somebody who thinks very logically, they need to have a distraction. That's what the focus on the watch or the pendant does. But that also works for the people that are able to visualize, what I'll call the volunteers on the stage show. For them, it's pretty easy, and they won't need as much focus on the watch. They'll be off uh, into hypnosis before too long. And if you are doing lots of shows and whatnot, you need to be ready to fly, drive, or both. Um, especially if you're doing stage. You can rent a lot of the sound equipment. You don't have to own it, but this is basically the very basic setup that you need to get started. And again, you want to make sure that whatever video you're capturing, whatever audio you're capturing, and how you present your show is definitely the highest quality you can make it. And over time you'll improve, right? Your first show isn't going to be the same as your last show. I can guarantee you that. Rewards, I think the biggest thing is at the end of a client session is seeing that client absolutely smile ear to ear for what could be the first time in a very, very long time. You're helping them create or recreate the life that they want to live. Uh, you know, and there's, that in and of itself is a reward. That's a one-on-one type of exchange. At the end of a show, when you get the applause or when you get that one laugh, when you're doing a show, that's a whole different type of high that you can get. And then, of course, the side reward is there is a community out there of hypnotists around the world, and you get to meet people from all over the place, and step out. You can step out and just learn, and you can step out and you can share your knowledge. I won't be presenting this year at any of the conferences, but next year I'll be putting in proposals to speak, and then that's another way you can actually make money is by speaking at these conferences. So largest one, of course, is in Las Vegas. That's the one that I was at this past summer. So it draws, like I said, about 800 or 900 people from around the world. So the challenges, travel. Sometimes you need to pivot, and you could be set to fly someplace and the client will cancel, or you are set to fly someplace and the weather's gonna not let you get there. It is going to be hotel living if you are on the entertainment or speaking circuit. It's very glamorous to be up on the stage with everybody, but on the backside of that, you are pretty much living in a hotel room. So I know one of my friends, they were on the road for an extended period of time. They took their air fryer with them and their rice cooker so that they could cook their own food. Now they were cooking it in the bathroom because that's where the plugins happen to be. But I mean, that's the unglamorous part of it. Is that's if you want to eat good food, you're likely going to have to make sure you take your snacks and whatnot from your house and stay away from as much of the fast food as you possibly can and eat as healthy as you can while you're doing the hotel living. But if you're on the road for 2 weeks at a time, when you get home, chances are you don't want to go traveling anymore. But you still have family that you need to consider in all of that as well. So, and lack of knowledge. Like I said, the biggest thing that I run up against is that they just don't understand what hypnosis is, and they think it's witchcraft, it's a cult, it's not real. Oh, it's very real, and it happens to everybody. And I keep telling them that, and they still don't believe me. Salary and benefits is self-employed, so it's up to you. You can work as little or as much as you want. You can expand your business as much as you want, and there are people in the industry that help hypnotists do exactly that. So you're going to start here. You're going to do this. Okay, that's great. And you're going to make, you might make $1,000 or $2,000 off these recordings. But if you do it this way, you can make $10,000 off those recordings. And we had one person in our industry who had made more than $1 million just from the stuff that he does on his website and the podcasts and things that he's linked to that one project. So like I said, it's entirely up to you. He started out doing a little bit of stage work and then went into therapy and then kind of really took to the learning about the business and how to make the business work, and since then has done quite well for himself. There's lots of ways to get from a few dollars to a lot of dollars, and it's your creativity and your drive that'll make it happen. Benefits, you'll need business insurance for sure. So, with that, you might as well pick up insurance for yourself. Pension, there's no such thing as a pension. It is create your long-term savings plan. And if you are the guy that's out on the road, uh, you need to think about what happens when it is slow. So yeah, you done 10 shows and you made $25,000. That's great. But if you don't have any shows for the next month, where is that paycheck coming from? So those are the pieces that you need to consider. So you need to have your own long-term savings plan, which means you might want to learn a little bit about investing and what that means so that you can control your investments and make sure you have something when you do actually retire. All of that said, because you own the business, you technically don't need to retire until you're like 75. And by that time, there should be lots of money in the bank for taking care of yourself. Holidays. Lots of guys refuse to take holidays, but you can take them when you decide to take them. And they refuse to take holidays because somebody's booked them and they're booked solid and they don't want to give up the business and the income from those 2 or 3 or 6 shows that they have. So, excuse me. So, it is really when you decide to take them. So look ahead in your calendar, block some time off, make sure you do take them because it is beneficial to have holidays and take some time to recharge your own batteries. And your typical work hours, like I said, some seasons are going to be busier than others. Grad season, if I have 3 or 4 shows a week, that means probably two or three of them are on the same night. So you could be working quite late and you could be working quite early. But your business hours are as much as you want. Right now, for myself, being that it is during the school year, my business hours don't start until 6 o'clock, and they run until 10 or 11. And that's just because I'm fully employed by the school division. So in that case, I have income from the school division and I have income from the hypnosis business itself. So and yeah, and sometimes are busier than others. There's no question about that. Education requirements, you don't need much, in the sense that high school diploma, definitely you should have, I'll say this as a teacher as well. Yes, finish your grade 12. Post-secondary, if you're going to go post-secondary and look for a degree, I would recommend arts, and get into psychology. Sociology would be a minor to that, or get into education. Both areas will teach you how people think and how you can relate to them, in order to either teach them or to work with them. So, are they required? No, optional. What about extra training? Again, there's no one governing body, so do your research. And right now, there's only two places that I would recommend for sure. They have lots of different trainers out there, but ICBCH and HMI, both of them have probably the strictest uh, set of protocols required. And ICBCH, well, actually, both of them do, are backed by people with psychology degrees and people that are licensed, in the sense that they can perform as a licensed psychologist and so on and so forth. So both of those schools would have those advantages. ICBCH does do online training. HMI, I don't know that it does. I think it's all in person, which means you'd have to live in California for a couple of years to get your certification. So, but yeah, and like I said, ICBCH also has lots of people that they've trained to be trainers. So look around. There would be lots of Canadian options. If you're stuck for one, let me know. I can point you in the right direction with all of that. So my journey, I'd say I was not the typical guy. I was probably the typical nerd slash geek slash whatever term you want to apply there. Uh, I was more interested in books and learning from books than I was with people, for the longest time. Uh, University was when I really kind of was able to get out and get access to a lot of good information. We didn't have internet back in the day when I was growing up as tall as I am at 5'3". It was all books, and so the university had the largest amount of books that were on that particular topic. So my skills took a jump from there. And once people find out you can actually do this, and you have to you have to show some proof. So through university, I had a few parties where I did some hypnosis, and again, it's one of those things that's like, wow, it amazed me as much as it amazed them. So and then for me here, like I said, you can have a lot of different things. So I have a Bachelor of Arts in History and English, a Bachelor of Education. I'm a certified coaching practitioner. That's my life coaching, certified hypnotherapist, certified hypnotist, certified hypno guy. There's no real term for it other than people tend to think that if you're a therapist, you're licensed. So just be cognizant of that when you're looking around at hypnotists. And a trauma recovery coach. And of course, I have a street hypnotist certification as well. So there's always somebody willing to teach something and another skill set that you can learn. So, like I said early on, it's all about, you're not ever going to know everything, so learn as much as you can. And the job market, pre-pandemic, the job market was okay. Uh, Post-pandemic, it is opening up. Excuse me. And it's wide open in the sense that people are a lot more open now to what I'll call alternative forms of healing, and they're starting to look away from the traditional uh, methods that would be utilized. So whereas I can get some results, I have clients that have stopped smoking in as little as one session, people that have, quit sugar, we talked about that, in as little as one session. Not everything is one session, but it is certainly a lot faster and a lot more efficient, and certainly a lot more lasting in terms of the change. And really, all we do is we sit down and we talk about it, and that sounds very much like talk therapy and so on and so forth, but it has a faster, higher percentage of people that uh, get better results, and so that's what the other part of the draw is. People are seeing the results. If you know somebody who has used hypnosis to make a change in their life, they will undoubtedly talk positively about it, and yeah, that's word of mouth marketing is a lot of where I get my clients from too. So chances for advancement. If you're coming out of this in high school, you're on the road. So do what you can. Uh, you know, the older people like myself, like I said, we're always learning new techniques and skills. You may have something new and that works with your generation that none of us know about. That's a good thing. Again, your chances for advancement, you can go as fast as you want. If you want to ramp up and become the premier hypnotist for all of Canada, go for it. There's nothing that would stop you from actually doing that. And occupation can lead to public performances around the world. There were a few world famous hypnotists, and coaches and whatnot that they took the opportunity to step out of what they were normally doing to take that next step. And that's really what it's about, is can you take that next step? And related occupations, I talked about them quite a bit. Teachers, psychologists, life coaching, public speaking, and you'll notice if you do a TEDx search in the TEDx area, a few of my colleagues will be in there with presentations. Again, author. There's a lot of books on hypnosis. Somebody had to write them. Influencer. There's a lot of us on social media. Some of us are more successful at it than others. Business owner for sure, and consulting. You don't actually have to be entertaining. You can actually consult with businesses directly. So if you have a particular skill set and they're looking for somebody to come in and show them how to sell something better, or help us introduce this change, like I said, in our company, and we're gonna make a big event out of it. Being a consultant on the side can also be a very lucrative market. And the life work balance, like I said, it's up to you. A lot of my colleagues don't take as many holidays as they probably should. It will probably come back on them later in a negative way, because the body can only take so much. I know some of the guys that I had looked up to when I was growing up and learning about hypnosis have since retired, and rightfully so. They were already into their early 70s and said, you know what, time, I gotta call it. I'm not going to travel anymore. So that work-life balance is on you. If you're going to run an online business from your house, you're going to be at your house all day. And depending on what your work hours are, if you open up your evenings to clients as well, you're going to be sticking around waiting on appointments and working with people day and night. And again, it's entirely up to you. You can make as little and do as little as you want, or you can make as much and do as much as you want. And the other piece is you don't have to travel the hotel circuit yourself. You can take your family with you. There's nothing stopping the rest of your family from traveling and with you, and as you do whatever circuit you're doing. So if you're going across Canada, why not make sure that in that space of time you can book an extra day here or an extra day there, go see the sites, learn about the local area, and give yourself that time and that ability. I mean, there's lots of Canada to see, and certainly if you go North America wide, that's a lot of the United States, Canada, and Mexico to see. So no reason that people can't travel with you. And for me, if you have questions, that is my email address there, connect@skhypnosis.com. For sure, email me. I will, if I don't have the answer immediately, I'll reach out to somebody that I know that does. And I think that's the last slide. Oh, excuse me. That was a lot of talking. So if there, like I said, if there are questions, we'll come back to that. Email me, and I'm more than happy to sit down with you. You can also skhypnosis.com. If you go to that website, you can actually book a half-hour time with me, time slot. It's free, and I use that to meet with my clients, but I also use that as, if somebody has some significant questions, they want more information, happy to talk about it as well.
Excellent, Shawn. Thank you so much for agreeing to present today. Certainly, I know I've worked with you in the Good Spirit School Division, and you've talked about your work with hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And I had a lot of questions, and you certainly did an awesome job of describing what it actually is, and also the opportunities that are available. And I don't think the average person, recognizes how many branches there are and how many ways you can go with it. So certainly appreciated. And again, thank you for taking the time, and good luck with your career in that area.
Absolutely. Appreciate the opportunity. And, I think if I'm going to leave you with any one thing, is the mind is untapped. Even I believe it was Socrates would have said, or maybe it was Aristotle, the unexamined life isn't worth living. Well, take a look at what you're doing and how you're thinking. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely there is. Is there a way that you can make yourself even 2% better, in a year? Absolutely there is. Can you leverage this or other pieces for change and change for the better? Absolutely you can. There's lots of ways to get out there and help people with it, and there's lots of ways for you to actually, lots of opportunity for you to actually use it yourself.
Excellent. Yes, and thanks again, Shawn, for making yourself available to any students who may have any additional questions about this area. So
Yeah.
again, thanks again, and have a great day.
Thanks. You too. See you.